Hi everyone and welcome to the Data Football Club. Between the 25th of October 2018 and the 10th of February 2022, Belgium has been the #1 football team on FIFA World Men's ranking. Hearing that, my cheeky French mind is thinking, how come a team that never made it to the final of a World Cup can be at the top of the FIFA ranking for so long? I mean, the last and only international tournament ever won by the Belgian football team was at the Summer Olympics in 1920. Another striking example is Wales reaching the 8th place of the ranking on the 1st of October 2015, even though they haven't qualified for a World Cup in 64 years at the time of this recording. Well, this is of course due to how the FIFA World Ranking is calculated. And in this video, we are going to discuss the usefulness of a world ranking in football, the different ways used by FIFA for calculating it, and the pros and cons of the different methods. With no further ado, let's get the ball rolling. Before even asking ourselves how the ranking is calculated, the first question that came to my mind is, what do we even need a ranking for? Well, it is mainly used for seeding the draws of various international competitions. The higher your team is ranked, the less likely you are to face strong teams in early stages of the competition. The point being that it is more exciting for spectators to see stronger teams face each other during the later stages of competition, so the knockout rounds, than in the group stages. For instance, let's have a look at how FIFA Rankings impacted the draw of the 2022 World Cup. The 32 teams qualified are divided into 4 pots. Therefore, each pot is made of 8 teams, where each one of them will be assigned one of the 8 groups from A to H. The pots were filled in order based on FIFA Men's ranking as of the 31st of March 2022. In pot 1, we have the 7 best teams according to the ranking and the host of the competition. That's Brazil ranked 1st, Belgium ranked 2nd, France ranked 3rd, Argentina ranked 4th, England ranked 5th, Spain ranked 7th, Portugal ranked 8th, and Qatar, the host, ranked 51st. Yes, if you did not know already, we are missing the 6th team on that ranking, the winner of Euro 2020, Italy, and I think personally that's very sad. Here is the composition of the 3 other pots. As you can see, Mexico is only 1 place behind Portugal and will still be facing an opponent from pot 1, when Qatar, ranked 51st, won't be, as they are the host. Also, potential winners of qualifying games that could not take place in time before the draw were placed by default in the 4th pot. That means that if Peru qualifies, they will be placed in pot 4 regardless of their 22nd rank, which could have placed them in the 3rd pot instead. But that's not the only use of the FIFA ranking. It is also used to determine the strength of each confederation and therefore is used to help decide how many slots a confederation will be allocated for an international competition. We will talk more about confederation in future videos, but all you need to know for now is that there are 6 confederations, pretty much 1 for each continent, except Antarctica of course, and each national team is affiliated to one based on its location. And one final thing that you might not know is that there are 2 official awards based on that ranking. The first and obvious one is for the team that finishes at the top of the ranking at the end of the year. And it is soberly called Team of the Year. As I was saying in the introduction, for the last 4 years, Belgium has won it. And the team who has won the most Team of the Year award is, unsurprisingly, Brazil, 12 times in total and 7 consecutive years. The second award is for the best mover in the ranking. It is based on an index equal to the product of the points earned during the year and the points the team has at the end of the year. Essentially, as its name suggests, it rewards the team who made the best progress that year. For instance, last year it was Canada, and I am sure that Jonathan David and Alphonso Davies are no stranger to this great performance. On a side note, the Best Mover award is not part of the official awards anymore, but FIFA still continues to publish a list of the top 3 best movers every year. As of today, 4 official methods have been used for men's ranking and 1 for women's ranking. All methods allocate a number of points to each team after each official game is played. Points are summed over time, and nations are ranked in decreasing order based on the total number of points or rating they have. The first international men's ranking was released in December 1992. 150 countries were ranked, with Germany being at the top with 57 points, and multiple teams including Cuba, Pakistan, Belarus, Seychelles, Central African Republic, Nepal and Gambia at the bottom with 1 point. France was 19th on that ranking, which kind of makes sense as in Euro 1992 we did not advance to the knockout stage, even though we still finished in front of England, that are ranked 5th.
What?
To be fair to my English friends, England did finish 4th on the World Cup 1992 when France did not even qualify, so that kind of makes sense. Anyway, the method used for producing this first ranking is really quite obscure. However, it probably was not too far from the first official method released in August 1993. The first formula for calculating the points of each team was fairly simple. Each team was awarded 1 point for a draw, 3 for a victory, and none for a loss. A method equivalent to the one used in most professional leagues today. This method was used until January 1999 when a second more elaborate method was adopted. After January 1999, the new formula for calculating the number of points earned by a team after an official game was the following. First, we keep the number of points for winning, drawing or losing, so 3-1 or 0. Then we add points depending on the number of goals scored and subtract points for goals conceded. A bonus is also added if the team was playing away. Then this sum is multiplied by 2 factors, one for the status of the match, so it would probably be weighted higher if the game happened during a World Cup than if it was an exhibition, and the second one for regional strength, which I'm not sure what it referred to back then, but probably has something to do with the supposed strength of each confederation. Note that I have been talking about points for goals scored and or conceded, as it is unclear whether it was just the number of goals scored or some other quantity based on it that was used. This formula is much more elaborate than the previous one and includes much more variables such as the score of the game and the conditions in which the game was played. After World Cup 2006 and such a tragic final, the calculation was again updated. Now it was a product of 4 variables. We start again with the number of points earned for the result of the game, then we multiply it by a factor called the importance of the game, 1 for a friendly, 2.5 for a qualifier, 3 for a confederation level competition and 4 for a World Cup. To that, we multiply the strength of the opposing team, which is based on the opposing team FIFA ranking. Precisely, it is equal to 200 minus the rank of the opponent divided by 100. However, for boundary issues, the top team is given a multiplier of 2 and teams ranked 150th and below are given a minimum multiplier of 0.5. Finally, the average strength of the confederations involved in the match is multiplied. Again, there is not much information on how the strength of each confederation involved was calculated, but we know it was updated every 4 years, after each World Cup. One last point. Only games played in the last 4 years are included to get the total number of points of each team. Before 2006, it was 8 years, and also a larger weight is associated to games that occurred more recently. The FIFA ranking was finally updated after the World Cup 2018 with a brand new calculation method inspired from the ELO rating system. If you are unfamiliar with the ELO ranking, it is widely used in the chess world. It was first proposed by Arpad Elo, a Hungarian and American chess master, and has been adopted in the 70s by the Fédération Internationale des Échecs, or FIDE, as our English-speaking friends like to say. Without going into the details of the model statistical assumptions, the main particularity of this ranking system is that it involves an expression of the expected result of a game. In the current FIFA ranking system, it is a value between 0 and 1. 0 if we 100% expect the team to lose, and 1 if we 100% expect the team to win. But how do we calculate that expected result? Well, according to the FIFA website, we only need the difference in ratings of the 2 playing teams that we write as D. The expected result is 1 over 10 to the power minus D divided by 600 plus 1. As you can see, this will indeed give you a number between 0 and 1 because the denominator will always be above 1. But let's look at this quantity more visually. Say we have Team A with a total number of points of 1200. Let us plot the expected result versus the total number of points of Team B. On the x-axis we have the number of points of Team B varying between 1 and 2,800. On the y-axis, we have the expected result of the game based on the formula we gave before. Fortunately, the model seems to say that the more Team B has points than Team A, the more likely it is for Team A to lose, which is shown with an expected result that tends to go to 0. What's interesting with that curve is that the evolution of the expected result is much more important when the total number of points of each team are still close. And when D is large, a slight change in the value won't change the expected result of the game very much. So, what is the actual formula for calculating the new rating of a team after a game was played? Well, it is the rating the team had before plus the importance of the match multiplied by the difference between the actual result of the game and the expected result of the game. Here, the actual result of the game is 0 for loss, 0.5 for draw, and 1 for win. This involved a new scale and classification for the importance of matches, which I won't go into just now. What's important is really the new term AR minus XR. And also, with that new ranking, there are some strange, if I dare say, additional conditions. For instance, if the game ends up as a penalty shootout, AR becomes 0.5 for the losing team and 0.75 for the winning team instead of 0 and 1. And even more weird is that if a team loses in a knockout of final competition, well, the formula is just not applied and the team keeps its previous rating. This one sounds really arbitrary for me, I have to say. Finally, we get the FIFA Women's Ranking, which has stayed the same since its creation in 2003. With Germany and the US the only two teams who've ever been at the top of that ranking. And I do believe it might be the most consistent ranking we've looked at so far. It also takes some inspiration from the ELO ranking system, with an expected result compared to the actual result of the game. However, here, the expected result is calculated slightly differently. It's 1 over 10 to the power minus ds divided by 2 plus 1. I'm saying ds because it's not simply the difference in ratings, but it is a scale difference in rating. Let me explain. So ds equals d, so the difference in rating, plus or minus 100 depending on whether the team is playing at home or away, and divided by 200. So it is interesting to note that the women's ranking calculation does include a correction for where the game is played. Otherwise, it is very similar to the current men's ranking method, with the new rating being equal to the previous one, plus the importance of the match times the difference between the actual and expected results. Still, one big difference with the men's ranking calculation is that all official games that were played since 1971 are taken into account, which is maybe one of the reasons for the hegemony of US and Germany. Now, let's carefully think of the pros and cons of each method. For the first one, we only had one variable to take into account, the result of the game. This makes it very easy to understand as it is the same as for national leagues. Essentially, it keeps track of the international matches as some kind of international league. However, it was way too simplistic. Also, teams cannot really lose points in this system, which makes it unfair for teams who join the ranking later or have less matches organized in their own confederation. The second method was already much more elaborate with the integration of additional factors such as the score and the stakes of the game. It might even be slightly too intricate, as it is not really clear why some of these factors are added and others are multiplied. Also, whether you are playing the best team or the worst team of a confederation, the points gained or lost are the same. So there is no real distinction between opponents of the same confederation. The third method is a simplified version of method 2 with only 4 factors as opposed to 6. And here we do have a new factor which gives an additional weight to beating a team higher in the ranking. All factors are multiplied, which gives a consistent contribution to each factor. However, the multiplication of each factor makes the formula quite unstable. The evolution of the ratings was much more chaotic when the third system was in place. As for the current FIFA men's ranking, it is based on the ELO ranking system, which has proven to be very performant for chess, but it might also be a disadvantage as chess is an individual sport which has significantly different dynamics than team sports. Also, it has been shown in multiple articles that teams do not really move up or down with this type of ranking system in football. To be fair, It is not really clear whether it is inherently because of the ranking system or because of the low number of games played by an international team over the year. Maybe between 10 and 20 on average. To compare, Magnus Carlsen, the current world chess champion, has played 3,091 official chess games over the last 22 years, and that's around 140 official games a year on average. In addition, with this current formula, they did not reinstate the adjustment for margin of victory of System 2, or even any information on the location of the match. What I like though, is that they did remove the strength of the confederation which was hindering the growth of confederation outside Europe and South America. The slight twist in the calculation of the expected result for the women's ranking makes it my personal favorite. Overall, I believe it is quite hard to define a ranking which is really consistent with the reality of football. One important reason for that, in my opinion, is the relatively low number of matches throughout the year, which makes it hard to reach some kind of asymptotical setup to justify statistical model assumptions. Also, unlike chess or other individual sports, national football teams are constantly evolving, in the sense that new players come in and others are dropped out. Another interesting metric to quantify the strength of a national team might be the expected potential of each nation, considering all their players throughout the world, so also considering the value of each player in the team and beyond. In any case, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you liked the video, please hit that like button and share it to your teammates. And if you want to join the Data Football Club, please subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell icon. See you soon for another video where football's the game and data's the goal. Bye bye!